how y'all doing? I'm Jimmy Friday, and I'm here with some weekly encouragement. This week's topic is called Stop Making Everything a Law and Be Free. And it's inspired off Galatians chapter 5, verse 1. Let me go to the scripture. It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not let yourself be burdened again by a yoke of slavery. You know, this scripture right here, it makes me think about how you hear how people say, you know, God speak to you through the scripture, nature, just humans, just daily interaction with people. You know, so this scripture I use, it comes to me in so many different forms, different type of issues I'm dealing with. You know, even though that this scripture was written to those people that were still living under old laws and not living under grace. You know, so we're going to get on that, you know, living under, using routines over grace. You know, so I think of a few things that I've made a law out of routine. You know, and if I get off course, I get down on myself. You know, I start being hard on myself. You know, I would read a chapter in the Bible, for example, in the morning, and then later that day I would go to a study Bible and read the same chapter just to get some more knowledge on it. You know, and if I didn't do them both in the same day, I would feel like I was disappointed, or I did something wrong, and I'd get hard on myself. You know, I'd be real down on myself about it. You know, if I miss a day at the gym, I'll feel like I'm getting lazy, I'm getting weaker, and I'm going to fall out of shape. You know, if I message my moms at a certain time of the day, I would feel like I was being careless. You know, I was making every routine a law, and I was not living out of grace and under grace all the time. That was the problem. You know, how many of you turn so many routines into a law that you do on a daily, and if you don't fulfill those duties, you get down on yourselves? You know, we have to hold grace as the standard and not let the routine be the law that we hold as a standard. So, you know, Galatians 5:1 reminds me that we need to show more grace to ourselves all the time. Nobody is perfect. We can only hope to do things to perfection. If we try to be perfect, we'll miss the beauty of life, which comes from trial and error, success and failure. You know, life is full of mistakes, disappointments, misunderstandings, and conflicts. We have to learn to weigh these things on the scale with grace on the other side of the scale. You know, we have to, when we try to hold ourselves to a perfect law, we'll be overwhelmed with the thoughts of, well, I should have done this that way, or I could have said this like that. And we can't do it like that. You know, we will miss the mark every time. You know, so that's why we have to get back under that grace umbrella and live life and let life live, and stop letting a bunch of rules and laws keep us from being free. You know, so let me go to another scripture to tie this up in John. I'll go to John chapter 10, verse 10. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that you may have life and have it to the full. You know, so who is the thief? A thief is just that negative spirit, that negative energy he was speaking of. Routine can become a thief because it makes you forget about grace. Old traditional ways and patterns that was put in place before times changed, that can become a thief because it keeps you living in the past instead of looking to the grace that's in front of you. You know, even in Mark chapter 7, verse 13, Christ said, "It is old traditions that gets between us and the Most High." We have to keep evolving, or we'll be left behind trying to hold on to rules and regulations that was made for generations before our time. So, like I said, we have to let go a lot of routine that's keeping us from living in grace. Let me go back to the scripture in Galatians 5:1 as I close. It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not let yourselves be burdened again by a yoke of slavery. So like I said, you know, we have to get rid of those old laws and routines that's keeping us from reaching grace and allowing grace to work in our lives. You know, remember, life is a forward march. We learn from our past mistakes and we press on to the blessings that's in front of us. And the only way that you can press on is if you allow grace to take control. So let's go out there and be 1% better every day. Whatever you have to do to make that 1%, let's go out here and be a blessing to others. Let's do what we can to help each other. Use our gifts to help build each other up. And let's go out here and be free. Y'all be cool and keep your heads up.